Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. My name is weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to unpack the latest in the mining industry. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Ashley.
Anglo American Platinum released its maiden climate change report, which showed support for a hydrogen economy in South Africa.
Yes, the advocacy that these mining companies do is very important, and it goes back a long way. But we used to have to ask for interviews, and then we'd go in there and get an insight into what was happening with marketing and advocacy to promote these magical metals, platinum group metals. And every time you went there, you'd see a lot of progress. But it's so fantastic now that they publish these sustainability reports, every year. So they give you massive insight. And the one that has just come out for Anglo American Platinum shows you that, they are colossal in this metal. And it spreads through all the main parts of the world where a lot of advocacy is being done, where, you get AP Ventures also investing in smaller startups to try and just get that insight into what is happening with the hydrogen economy. It was also very revealing is that, the platinum group metals are spreading. They're spreading into, storage. We think of them in cars that are making sure that there's no emissions, but it's going widespread. And you're looking at computers now and spintronics, and you're looking at absolutely so many different areas that I think that the future for platinum group metals is really good.
Now, still with Amplatz, tell us about its trials for its green hydrogen trucks.
Yes, so, this is an amazing thing. I mean, here you get a mining company, Anglo American, and you would have imagined that, they would not have gone into building a truck. I mean, when has a mining company ever done that? But they took on this task, and it's not an ordinary truck. This is a 500-ton truck. I mean, it is massive. You couldn't go bigger. And one would have thought that there would have been a lot of pains in this because, it's not their core business. They're obviously partnering with people, but it would have been an up and down sort of situation. But every time you hear of trialing, you get more and more convinced that this is really going to be something that is near term, because we saw the hydrogen truck go into trials at Mogalakwena doing exceedingly well, with full loads and tipping into crushing plants. So they're trying to now get a sort of a liquid hydrogen through, which will open up a lot. But one sees that, in the next 5 to 10 years, just about every one of those Anglo-American mines is going to have this hydrogen truck. And that's fantastic news when you think it happened in South Africa, not far north of here in Limpopo. You just don't imagine that sort of big job could have been done so successfully, but thankfully it has.
Lastly, Martin, there seems to be consensus that a green electron and green molecule energy transition is tailor-made for South Africa.
This is tailor-made for South Africa, and it's tailor-made for Africa. And I think it's something that most countries should look at, because not only do you get the green electrons, with the help of the sun and the wind and water, but you can also get green molecules that we used to pulling up our cars into filling stations and getting dirty molecules. But you can do that with clean molecules now. And it's amazing that this can really come in at this time, because the world needs it so desperately. We're seeing the planet being devastated. We know that this is undeniably the biggest challenge of our time in the world, to combat climate change. And look at the way, the opportunities there to do it. We spend a fortune on importing the oil, and we import the gas. We're importing petrol, diesel, all the time. Whereas this gives you an opportunity to stop all that. You can then do everything in your own country, domestically. And you can see that we are one of the few countries that have actually got such a competitive position that we will have more green electrons, more green molecules than we actually need. So there's also a chance to export. So instead of paying out our foreign exchange like this, so horrifically in huge volumes, we can actually get foreign exchange in for an energy that we've never been involved in before but we are tailor-made for it because of our superior sun, our prime wind. There's also access to water in southern Africa. So I can see why, Anglo American is really pushing this so hard, because the vision of the future is so clear. And, we could do so much in southern Africa together and then show the rest of Africa what to do. But I must say that in North Africa, we've got to watch out, because Egypt's moving very fast. Morocco's moving very fast. So, and they're closer to markets. So Namibia is also doing quite well. But the opportunity is huge. And I'd love to see, massive South Africa incorporated support behind this green molecule and green electron opportunity.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
Great pleasure, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news and analysis on the local and global mining industries. To subscribe to Creamer Media's Engineering News and Mining Weekly, please email subscriptions at creamermedia.co.za.